very solid start from South Africa in the first 10 overs. The real question is solid what they needed, or did they need to be maybe another 20 runs on to try and really put a big total on the board? However, it has been the trend in the tournament. You can get a certain type of a total in the first 10 overs, and you can really capitalize on that in the second 10. Ratzi van der Dusen playing slightly out of his comfort zone, really stepping on the gas from the word go, and Quinton de Kock playing the aggressor's role as we know he can do after coming through the early test of spin in the power play. 73 for 1 in 10 overs, South Africa. Just how many can they get to? Because it's all about a big total and restricting England to approximately 70 runs less than where they are. Here we are on Cricbuzz Comm Box. I'm in the company of Zaheer Khan. Zaheer, a good start, 9 wickets in hand. You'll want South Africa to kick on from here. But yeah, I guess they would have wanted maybe another 15, 20 even at this stage.
Absolutely. But interesting choice of a stack up of overs from Owen Morgan, isn't it? You have Moeen Ali bowling all his 4 overs pretty much from one end at the start of the innings, and now he has overs of Mark Wood still up his sleeve to attack at the back end. So that will be the main battle. I think from South Africa's point of view, they have to utilize this platform which they've set, a strong platform, to put Mark Wood under pressure. That's going to be the deciding tactics, I would say, and the strategy of the game. Let's see how South Africa goes about putting that pressure on Mark Wood, because that's clearly the plan from Morgan at this stage. And when you have four overs of a bowler left, the bowler has to really step up if you put him under pressure, and then the options gets limited for Morgan in this case. We'll have to see, how that tactic go now in the second half of this innings.
Well, something that we haven't seen. I mean, 70 runs, approximately 7 and over or exactly 7 and over in the first 10 overs. But what we haven't seen is normally a single bowler gets targeted for a bit more than the others. Here, a consistent 4 bowlers used, no Mark Wood, in the first 10, and all of them have gone for just around 7 and a bit. 6.75 to Moeen Ali, but for Wokes, Rashid and Chris Jordan, just about 7. So they haven't really gone after a single bowler, but they've just been trying to get runs evenly distributed of them all.
Absolutely. I think, so far when you look at the game like that, the interesting fact was how South African batsmen were using the reverse sweep to a good effect in this particular innings, looking to use the sweep as well. That review of Van der Dusen also was a close one, but that has been the tactic from the South African batsmen. They've been looking to use the sweep very well, and we'll have to see now in Sharjah. We've seen the second half when the ball gets older, how it holds up. That is also going to matter. Whether the wicket which we have seen, which has played good so far, is it going to stay in the same way, or it's going to change? So those are the factors now we'll have to keep an eye on, and South Africa will be keeping an eye on to get to a total which will set them a very, very strong platform. Currently, if you look at it, the platform is definitely set to go somewhere around 170. I think they'll be happy with that as well. Something to play around because the net run rate will be the key factor which they will be thinking at this point.
The other unfamiliar situation for Team England is that they've normally been taking consistently 3 wickets inside that power play. They didn't get that. The only one they did get was that of Reza Hendricks. But what it did mean is that Moeen Ali blunted the spin of both Rashid and Moeen Ali. And I think that is full credit to Quinton de Kock. As you said, open secret before the show.
Absolutely. I think, there was, in fact, by that standard, he was still relatively slow today. But he was slow only because the off spinner was in operation. And that was the tactic right now from England. The first 10, because Quinton de Kock was there at the crease, Morgan must have thought that, let me continue with my offie, get the overs out. I can still have enough resources to put pressure at the back 10. With Mark Wood, we know what he can do with his pace. A bit late in the innings, but I think, still that is something which is playing on Morgan's mind for sure.
And the other thing that he has also, Morgan has bowling options at his disposal because, of course, there is Mark Wood who will be bowling presumably all four of his overs in the back 10, but Liam Livingston also provides them that extra edge. So I guess if Morgan sees that there's maybe still a bit more of weakness against spin, he can turn to Livingston to add to what Rashid and Moeen have done.
Correct, but as we go late in the innings, at times it becomes difficult. So that's why, from South Africa's point of view, it's really important that they put Mark Wood under pressure. If that happens, then you open up that one more slot of bowler, or a sixth bowler coming in. So that is something which will be which can work in South Africa's favor, especially with left-hander Miller coming into bat later. You can use the leg spin of Livingston to a good effect. So that is something which we'll have to wait and see. But the key tactic for me is that if Mark Wood doesn't bowl his quota of 4 overs right now, then that means South Africa is winning that battle.
Yeah, and I think the first battle, the first small mini battle between Mark Wood and the South African batsman has been won by the men in green, because Van der Dussen, who's already been playing at a far increased strike rate from what he normally does at the start of his innings, obviously playing the situation, has hit a 6 and a 4 of Mark Wood, 11 runs in first 5 balls. So I think they're sending the message back to Owen Morgan. So it's good, really good from South Africa so far.
Staying with the game, that means. And Rassie van der Dussen has looked good. Used his feet to seamers, used his feet to Wokes as well. And he was the aggressor so far in the innings. So the message is very clear. Van der Dussen is going to now launch the attack on England bowlers from here on in, and not really wait for the back 4 overs or the death overs, as we call it. But the game is shifting right now and moving in that direction. So from England's point of view, I think a breakthrough is going to be very, very vital now, because if they don't get that breakthrough in the next couple of overs, then South African batters, the two set batters, can really put English bowling under pressure right now.
One final question. I know when we chatted in the mid-show, Dinesh Karthik was unequivocal. Don't mess around with David Miller. Let him be the finisher in the innings. But left-right combination. Van der Dussen goes now. Markram comes in. If Quinton de Kock were to go with bulk of the spin done with, would you even consider David Miller to come in?
Well, I think to bat the situation, so if we are in a strong position, we've seen power hitters coming up, and Miller is clearly has been a designated finisher for South Africa, to utilize those last 4 overs, 5 overs. So if the game goes to that level where they have more than expected wickets in hand, I'm sure they will do that. So last 4 overs, expect Miller to come and bat.
Well, as we said, in the Cricbuzz Comm Box, wickets do tend to fall. It's a talking point here, as Quinton de Kock has perished in Adil Rashid's final over. What it does now mean, he's still got one more over, I beg your pardon. He's in his 3rd over. So there's still one more Adil Rashid over to come. Now it'll be interesting to see who comes out. But loss of Quinton de Kock, momentum still with South Africa.
Momentum is still with South Africa, but England got what they wanted. They wanted a breakthrough. They've got it. Now it'll be interesting to see how Van der Dussen also goes, because he's the aggressor and he's already in his innings. To continue with that tempo or to slow things down is something which we'll have to wait and see. I think he would want to go in with the kind of tempo he has set for his innings, which takes the pressure off the new batter as well. So who's the new batter and what kind of approach Van der Dussen is going to have now for his innings is something which we have to see in the next 3 to 4 overs.
Yep, well, whatever happens, whatever they do with their batting order, it's something we'll discuss at length when we come back in the mid-innings. For now, we know, and we can remind all of you, South Africa need to get a score on the board. Whatever score it is, they need to keep England within a 70-run distance or so of them to try and somehow qualify ahead of Australia for the semi-final. England, remember, still very much safely in that last 4. So lots to play for, lots of fun and games. Sit back. It should be quite an entertaining last few overs. That's all on Cricbuzz Comm Box.